Hey there. All the talk these days is, if you've been following the latest blogs and stuff on health and kind of some of the new diets that are out there, you've probably heard a lot about the carnivore diet. So I just wanted to make a really quick live video talking about the carnivore diet as it pertains to women, menopause, fat loss. So, all right, here we go. The first thing I want to talk about is, but before I start, sorry, I meant to introduce myself. My name is Kelly, and I work with women in their menopausal years, perimenopausal years, and beyond who are struggling with weight loss resistance. That means weight that is stubborn to lose, regardless of what you've tried. You may have a history of yo-yo dieting, damaged metabolism, binge eating, or diet restriction. There's a lot of different reasons for weight loss resistance, but I help women work through that, and I work one-on-one with them to create a lifestyle that works for them, and I will help you bust through that weight loss resistance. Okay, so first of all, I just wanted to define, for those of you who don't know, the carnivore diet is, like I said, the newest thing, and it is where you basically just eat meat or anything that comes from an animal. So meat, the fat from on the meat, eggs. If it came from an animal, you eat it. So basically you're eliminating everything else. You're not having grains, you're not having fruits and vegetables. Dairy is kind of a gray area. Some people do great incorporating dairy into their carnivore diet, and then some people don't. So that is kind of the newest thing now. And of course, it can be controversial because you're eliminating so many other food groups. But first off, I want to just share with you my experience with carnivore diet. I have been practicing the carnivore diet now pretty much for the past 9 months. I mean, there's been a few instances in the past 9 months where I've had maybe an avocado, or I've maybe had a couple salads, but pretty much I have been carnivore for the past 9 months, and it has been the most amazing experience. It has saved my life. And I'll tell you a couple reasons why. And this is why I think the carnivore diet can be an amazing lifesaver for women if you're dealing with certain symptoms. And so that's what I'm going to kind of explain right now. So first of all, I was struggling with a lot of digestive symptoms, and I had been struggling with it for years and years. And I tried several different approaches to get rid of those digestive symptoms. And when I say digestive symptoms, I'm talking there was just so much abdominal pain. Regardless of what I ate, I would just have a stomach ache afterwards. My abdomen became distended, and I even felt like I was retaining a lot of fluid in my abdomen. And just regardless of what I ate, I always had some sort of digestive upset, even heartburn and reflux I was struggling with as well. And so that is the main reason why I turned towards carnivore. But what I found after eating that way for a few months is I had just crazy awesome other side effects too. So the first thing that I noticed is that my digestion improved, and that didn't take long at all. I mean, we're talking 48 hours maybe. I could already tell that my stomach was so much flatter. I had lost probably about 8 pounds of water, which was just all inflammation weight from just eating, I think, fiber, from vegetables and the dairy too. I eliminated dairy along with this carnivore. So I was eating basically just meat, and my favorite meat that made me feel the best was beef. But so the first thing I noticed was that, yes, my digestion definitely improved. I lost a lot of water and inflammation weight, and so I could definitely tell right off the bat, just after 48 hours, that this diet was definitely something that my body was liking and responding to in a very positive way. The next thing that I noticed is that this was about after a week, is that any sort of cravings or urges to overeat or any emotional eating, all of that pretty much went away. So as I've shared in my videos, I've definitely struggled with overeating and emotional eating. And I've definitely learned how to manage those with some really awesome tools and just with some mind management. But I'm telling you, when you go carnivore, it just quiets everything down tremendously. And you spend way less brain power and energy on trying to deal with urges and cravings and overeating and that sort of thing, the emotional eating. I think my most difficult time when it comes to emotional eating or overeating is in the evenings. And when I went carnivore, it was pretty much completely gone. Those urges in the evenings to overeat or emotional eat were pretty much completely gone. So this is very exciting news for those of you who are struggling with binging or uncontrollable cravings, to overeat, emotional eat, all of that. This is some extremely exciting news for you. That if you haven't tried carnivore, if you feel like you've tried everything else, if you've gone to counseling and therapy and you've tried various other programs, if you've tried various other diets, even if you've tried keto and you didn't have luck with managing your eating issues, please talk to me. And we can chat about how the carnivore diet may really help you manage some of those eating issues that you might have. Okay, so that was the second thing I said. The first thing was my digestive issues went away when I went carnivore. The second thing that went away when I went carnivore is urges and cravings to emotional eat or overeat. And then the other thing that I noticed is that my body composition really started improving. I lost about 40 pounds of fat and inflammation weight by going carnivore. And I think one of the main reasons is because my hormones were able to be balanced. My metabolic hormones balanced, my sex hormones balanced, and all of that happening allowed me to shed a lot of extra body fat and maintain all of my muscle. So that all comes from a hormonal standpoint. I did not lessen my calories at all during this time. So this has nothing to do with going on some crazy elimination diet to try to restrict calories. That has nothing to do with it at all. It was all a hormonal response from going carnivore. So that was the other thing. And so the longer I did it, after I had been into it for about a month or 2 months, I just kept feeling better and better and better. Sorry, everyone, the lighting here is kind of weird. I think it's because the sun keeps kind of coming in and out here. So I apologize for the lighting. But I think that, yeah, like I said, so my body composition started doing amazing things. And I didn't even work out. So I took about 9 months where my body needed to kind of rest and heal from just a lot of different things. I had over-exercised and I had had a lot of hormonal damage. And so for me personally, I had to take a break from exercise to let my body heal for a while. So also during this time where I lost, 40 pounds of fat and inflammation weight, I didn't work out at all. So that's just more proof that, exercising isn't required. It has its time and place, but it's not required if you want to lose weight. So, if any of you, by the way, have questions about the carnivore diet, if you've heard of it, but maybe you're thinking that it's a bad idea, or maybe you have some questions about it, please let me know. I've done extensive research on the carnivore diet over the past 9 months to a year. So I do know a lot about it, how it pertains to women and their health and their hormones and that kind of thing, menopause. So it is absolutely safe. And I'm not going to go into all of the myths and stuff about it in this video. I can make other videos about that, but it is, just know that it is 100% completely safe for women in menopausal years, and especially if you are struggling with weight loss resistance. And I would definitely recommend going carnivore, and especially if you have any sort of eating issues, whether that be emotional eating, binge eating, overeating, any of that, then definitely carnivore is something you should try. It's something I can help you with. It's something we can work on together. So, okay, so my body composition started to improve. Okay, so the fourth thing that I noticed from the carnivore diet is that my sleep improved too. So, I just went into a much deeper sleep at night. And I think once again, that all goes back to a hormonal response. I was definitely in ketosis, so I'm sure that some of it had to do with ketosis, but the other part too was just that I was really balancing some of my metabolic and sex hormones to allow that deep sleep. And so, and then the other thing, the fifth, I think I'm on the fifth thing now that I noticed was that my mental clarity and my energy during the day really increased. So I could, just concentrate a lot better at work and at home, and I had more energy throughout the day. And so I just kept seeing these awesome things pop up, and it just kept going and going. And so even by like the third or fourth month, I was still seeing just some amazing improvements. So the carnivore diet definitely balanced hormones, like I said. The other thing is that if you're suffering with a lot of digestive issues and food intolerances, by eliminating all of those, that's another thing that can really get you some great results, is just by eliminating some of those foods that are causing those symptoms. So for those of you just coming on, I'm talking about the carnivore diet. And so those of you maybe who have heard or haven't heard about the carnivore diet, it's basically where you are just eating animal products. So you're just eating meat and eggs and dairy, if you can tolerate dairy, okay. And so for me and for a lot of people that I talk to, beef tends to be the meat that makes people feel the best. But that's all you just eat animal on the carnivore diet, animal type products. So you are eliminating all fruits and vegetables and breads and sugars and anything that doesn't come from an animal. So like I said, for those of you that just came on, I have been doing this now for about 9 months, and it's changed my life, and it's really helped my metabolic hormones balance out, and I was able to lose about 40 pounds of extra fat and inflammation weight, and it improved my mental clarity and my digestion and my sleep and my energy and everything. So I have only good things to say about it. And so when I work with women one-on-one to help them through their weight loss resistance, we can explore whether or not the carnivore diet would be something good for you. It may or may not. It's probably not for everybody, and that's fine. And just because it's not something that you want to do or you feel like would benefit from, I can still absolutely get you to the goal weight that you want to get to. We don't have to do carnivore. You don't have to do anything. Actually, when I work one-on-one with women, I help you design a lifestyle that you are happy with and that makes you feel amazing. And that may or may not include carnivore. It may or may not include any sort of low carb or keto or fasting. Usually it does, but it doesn't have to. There are absolutely zero rules involved with the when I work one-on-one with women. So that is, if any of you have questions again on carnivore diet, please talk to me. Ask your questions now. If you watch the replay, you can ask them later on in the comments, or later on in the replay comments. So the other thing too is, as if you've been watching any of my videos, you know how crazy passionate I am about incorporating fasting and low carb into your lifestyle as menopausal women if you want to lose weight. So I am offering, as we go into fall, I just kind of thought of this, I think it was last night, that if you went to work with me on low carb, fasting, carnivore, for losing weight, I will offer an accelerated program or accelerated one-on-one with me as we go into fall. So I want to call it like fasting into fall. And fasting means something different to every woman. And there are so many myths about fasting that it drives me crazy. So if you've tried fasting and it didn't work for you, it's because you did it wrong, and it's not your fault. It's because you were probably misled and you had a bunch of misled information. And so that's why it didn't work for you, because fasting will work for everybody if you do it correctly for your body. So, if you are interested in just like an accelerated one-on-one with me, please set up a call with me, and I'll put the link after this video. And it's not a sales call. This call is just a call where we will just figure out if working together is a good fit. And so I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. And so we will just have a phone call just to see if it'd be a good fit to work together. So I'm a nurse, so I understand the science behind things. So I understand the hormones. I understand how menopause works and what's happening with you and your metabolism and your hormones and menopause and your sex hormones. And so that's one reason that my clients get such effective results, is because I have all that science background. But I also have the mind stuff. The mindset and the mind tools that you need to be successful. So, like I said, I think in my video last week, you can have all the information in the world about fasting and metabolism and hormones, but if you can't control your urges to overeat, if you can't control your binging, it doesn't matter. All the information in the world isn't going to help you. So then that's when you need somebody who has some great tools for managing that kind of thing. The overeating, even if you're over drinking too, managing that is going to be key. So I also specialize in that too. So when you work with me, you get both. And there's a lot of great programs out there to help with emotional eating and binge eating. And there's a lot of great programs out there that help with hormones and fasting and keto, but very few programs incorporate everything into one. So that's the beauty of working with me. So, does anybody have any questions? I haven't really been paying attention to who's all on right now. The other thing I wanted to mention too, is that a lot of women in menopause who are struggling with weight loss resistance, also have kind of a secondary or an additional diagnosis onto their weight loss resistance and their menopause. So first of all, it's hard enough to lose weight as a woman. And then we add menopause on top of things, which makes it even harder. And then a lot of women have these other diagnoses too, like PCOS. They have maybe a hypothyroidism, they have Hashimoto's, they have all sorts of digestive issues. Maybe you have Crohn's, ulcerative colitis. The list goes on. I can't even think of them all now. I know PCOS is a big one. But anyway, if you have those other diagnoses along with menopause, along with your weight loss resistance, please talk to me. As a nurse, I understand all of those other issues that you might be having. If you're taking prescription medications to manage those other diagnoses, I am familiar with all those medications. And so I would be able to help you. So if you feel like your weight loss resistance and menopause might be exacerbated because of your PCOS, or because of your hypothyroidism, or because of any autoimmune issue that you might have, like Hashimoto's or any other, there's just a million of them out there, any other autoimmune issue that you might be having, I'm really good at helping you I'm really good at helping you work through that and to try to get through your weight loss resistance. So I'll just take PCOS for example. Actually, I think it's kind of it's poorly named. I think polycystic ovarian syndrome is a really poor name to describe what PCOS is and what it does to the body. And I think that is also what kind of misleads a lot of women in really curing it or curing its side effects. So actually, I think it's a disease of hyperinsulinemia, which is just too much insulin. So instead of focusing on the polycystic ovarian the polycystic ovaries, I think it is more beneficial to talk about managing the hyperinsulinemia side of things. So obviously lowering your carbs, doing some sort of keto-like lifestyle, and incorporating some fasting, intermittent fasting in with that can absolutely cure your PCOS symptoms. So it's a really big problem these days, and I feel like it's causing all sorts of problems. Now, I work with women in the menopausal age, and so fertility and trying to get pregnant typically aren't the focus of a lot of the women that follow me, but PCOS really does affect even women in the menopausal years. So that is where I can really come in and help you work through that. So anyway, I think that was about all I had for today's video. I primarily wanted just to introduce to you the Carnivore Diet. If you haven't heard of it, check it out. I don't really know if I want to say check it out on YouTube, because there's a lot of great YouTube videos on carnivore. Yes, that is true, but there's a lot of misinformation at the same time. So I guess do your research, but you might need to take a lot of it with a grain of salt, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, just as there is with keto and fasting. But anyway, the point of this video is I really wanted just to let you guys know about the carnivore diet, and I'm here to bust any myths or to answer any questions that you have about it. And I also would just want to share my personal experience with the carnivore diet and how it absolutely saved my life. It really did. It helped me lose like 40 pounds. And I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I just wanted to bring up the fact that I really haven't had a vegetable or a fruit now for 9 months, outside of maybe a handful of times. Like I said, I might have had a couple salads in the past 9 months. I may have had some avocado. I've had limited to no dairy, and I have never felt better. I've never felt better. I've never slept better. I've never had a better body composition. I've never had more mental clarity. So that's coming from personal experience. And I know thousands of other women and men too have had the same type of experience through carnivore. So, and then I also just want to just let you guys know, what I do. I talked about, that I'm a nurse and I can help you break through weight loss resistance. I'm so confident. I'm so confident that regardless of your circumstance and your situation, I can help you break through your weight loss resistance. And it's a matter of understanding the science of what's going on in your body. It's a matter of me educating you. This is what's going on in your body. This is what's going on in your hormones, with your hormones, and then also the mind stuff too. It's 9 o'clock at night and your kids are in bed and there is a package of Oreo cookies screaming your name, and it will do little good of how much knowledge you have about carnivore when that happens. So you need someone to help you have the tools to work through those urges that you have to overeat. So that's the other thing that I do. And like I said, I work one-on-one with women. And the reason I work one-on-one with women, and the reason it's so crucial, is because I am not going to put a cookie cutter plan out there, because it's just ridiculous and it's ineffective. And that's, if you've bought all those programs online, the cookie cutter programs, obviously you can see that they don't work. So that's why I work one-on-one with women. Every woman's plan and every woman's issues and hormones are so different that for me to try to do some cookie cutter program is just dumb. It's just really dumb. So, I work with the woman who has 5 to 10 pounds to lose because maybe she's struggling with decades of yo-yo dieting, and she's damaged her metabolism, and she has, eating issues, and her sex hormones are all messed up. And so her plan is going to look different than the menopausal woman that I'm working with, who has 50 to 100 pounds to lose. And she, has been a binge eater for decades, and she has, insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Obviously her plan of attack to heal herself is going to look way different. So that's why I work one-on-one with women. And like I said, I am so passionate about this, about the fasting and the low carb and the carnivore. I'm so crazy passionate about it that I want you to start. I want you to start. And so I'm offering just an accelerated one-on-one with me. I ideally like to work with women for about 12 weeks. I think that gets you the best results, and you can still work with me for 12 weeks. But if you want kind of an accelerated type, plan of attack, I would be, I would do that just to get you started. So please contact me, and then we'll set up a call just to see if working together would be a good fit. And it's not a sales call. It's just a call just to see if this is a good idea. So, what else do I have? I think that's about it for now. There were, there's still so many myths out there about fasting, and so many myths out there about keto and low carb and carnivore as it pertains to women. And so I think tomorrow I think I'm going to do a live tomorrow, and we're going to just focus on busting the myths. So please drop your questions in the comments or wherever, and let me know what questions you have about what you've heard about women and fasting, women and keto, women and carnivore, and all the myths like it's going to mess up your hormones and you can't do it every day and you have to have these carb refeeds. It's all a bunch of crap. It really is. It's all a bunch of crap. So I will be back tomorrow to bust all those myths for you, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into those kinds of things. So thank you so much for listening. It was kind of unorganized, but basically I told you about my carnivore experience, and I told you how I can help you, and I'm so passionate that I can help you, and I'm so confident that I can help you bust through your weight loss resistance. So thank you so much for listening, and all right, we will talk to you all soon.